Hey everyone, welcome to my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. I'm going to show off the way that I have built the deck. I think it's a pretty casual, slight competitive deck, depending on who you're playing against. But anyways, enough of my rambling, let's get into this deck and show y'all what I got. First to start things off, of course, is the big man himself, 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Now, I know these two are damaged. These two have been with me for a very long time. Well, this one's still brand new, but you always want to run 3 in your deck, obviously. Then you want to run 3 Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragons. This card cannot be special summon normal summon or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by revealing a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. You can only special summon Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon once per turn this way. This name becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. This card cannot attack the turn its effect is activated. So, it's good at removing cards on the field, and has pretty much a 3k beat stick attack. And then we have 3 White Stones of Ancient. One of the best tuner dragon type monsters for this type of deck. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use the effect of the White Stone of Ancients once per turn. So it's good at special summoning almost any Blue Eyes monster from your deck and add it back to your hand from the graveyard. So definitely want to run 3 of those. Then you want to run 3 of the best tuner monster for this deck, which is Sage with Eyes of Blue. This card, when this card is normal summon, you can add 1 level 1 light tuner monster from your deck to your hand, except for Sage with Eyes of Blue. You can discard this card, then target 1 effect monster you control, set to graveyard. If you do special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your deck, you can only use this effect with Sage with Eyes of Blue once per turn. Now, I use this card in a combo with my main with Eyes of Blue, which allows me to get 2 monsters out on the field. But, yeah, he helps special summon more Blue Eyes monsters and get them to your hand. Then we have 2 Blue Eyes Chaos Dragons and 1 Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. My deck revolves around getting these bad boys out on the field and laying waste to the opponent, best way to put it. It's also focused on getting out the big fusion boss monster for the Blue Eyes deck. But either one I get out first is what's going to cause the most damage. Blue Eyes Max Dragon, his effect is you can ritual summon this card with Chaos form. Must be ritual summon. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. This card attacks a defense position monster, inflict double piercing damage. So, pretty dang good. Then you have Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon's effect. You can ritual summon this card with Chaos form, like the other one. Must be ritual summoned. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this card is ritual summoned using Blue Eyes White Dragon, when it declares an attack, you can change the battle position of as many monsters your opponent controls as possible. And if you do, the attack and defense of changed monsters become 0. Also this turn, if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. So, a little bit better than Chaos Max Dragon, other than it doesn't do double piercing damage. But it also changes your opponent's monster's battle position and reduces all their attack and defense to 0. Pretty powerful card right there. Then we have 1 White Stone of Ancient. Oops, sorry. Yeah. 1 White Stone of Legend. Since we have 3 White Stones of Ancient, I figure 1 White Stone of Legend was enough for this deck. This card, when sent to graveyard, add 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. Pretty simple right there. Then we have 2 Star Legit Sifrit. You can send any number of dragon monsters from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard. Add 1 dragon monster from your deck to your hand whose levels equal to the total original levels of those monsters sent to the graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target 1 level 8 or dark dragon monster from your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use each effect of Star Legit Sifrit once per turn. So good at getting your blue eyes in the graveyard and good at getting them in your hand, which is going to be useful all the way around. Then we have one of the newest Blue Eyes monster, Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. If this card is special summoned, you can add one ritual spell or one polymerization from your deck to your hand. During your end phase, you can add one level 8 or higher dragon monster from your deck to the hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard. All level 8 or higher dragon monsters you control gain 1000 attack. You can only use each effect of Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon once per turn, and can only activate them while there's a Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field or in your graveyard. So good at getting your ritual cards, getting your polymerizations in your hand, also giving your dragons a attack boost, 1000-point attack boost. So this card has all around good effect for this deck. Then we have one Deborah's Dragon, one main with Eyes of Blue, one Master of Eyes of Blue, and one Effect Veiler. Now, main with Eyes of Blue, her effect is if she's targeted by attack, can negate the attack, switch your battle position, and special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Also, if she's targeted by card effect, you can special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon pretty much from anywhere. Then Master with Eyes of Blue. When this card is normal summon, you can target one level 1 light tuner monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can shuffle this card from your graveyard into your deck, then target one effect monster you control, send it to the graveyard. If you do, special summon one Blue Eyes monster from your graveyard other than the sent monster. You can activate this effect once per turn. Then we have Effect Veiler. Only one hand trap in this entire deck. That's just the one I wanted in here anyways. During your opponent's main phase, you can send it to the graveyard to target one effect monster and negate it. That's simple. Then Deborah's Dragon, one of my favorite dragon tuners of all time. His effect is, when this card is normal summon, you can target one monster with 500 or less attack in your graveyard, special summon that target in attack position, but negate its effects. Cannot be used as synchro material except for synchro summoning of a dragon monster. So it helps get your other tuners out in the field if you need them for anything, and he's also a level 4 synchro, which is good for any bigger synchro monsters you may have in your extra deck. That's it for the monsters, so let's get on to the spells. We have 3 Chaos forms, which this allows you to pretty much ritual summon any of your Chaos Dragons. Then you have 2 of the newest Blue Eyes spell card, Bingo Machine Go, which this card will reveal 3 cards from your deck, each being at least one of the criteria list below. Your opponent really picks one for you to add to your hand, shuffle the rest back into your deck. You can only activate this card once per turn. It can be a Blue Eyes monster, or a spell card, trap card, that lists Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, except Bingo Machine Go. So, helps you be able to get any Blue Eyes card from your deck to your hand that you need. Then we have 1 Psychic Eraser Laser. This card, fresh out Blazing Vortex. Let's just send one of your opponent's send one monster your opponent controls that was special summoned from the extra deck to the graveyard. Then your opponent gains life points equal to original attack and defense of that monster, whichever is higher. You can activate these once per turn. So when your opponent gets a little bit of boost, takes out any of their extra deck monsters. Then we have 1 Rage with Eyes of Blue, which just special summons all 3 Blue Eyes from your deck at the cost of banishing as many cards from your hand, field, and graveyard face down as possible. So it'd be pretty good if you draw this on the first turn or later on in the game, as long as you don't have Blue Eyes in your graveyard or in your hand. Then we have 1 Melody of Awakened Dragons, which discard 1 card, target up to 2 dragon monsters with 3,000 more attack and 2,000 less defense from your deck, add them to your hand. So get your Blue Eyes cards right back to your hand. Then we have 1 Dark Ruler No More, which negates effects, negates your opponent's effects, but they take no battle damage. That seems like a pretty fair cost to me. Then we have Regeki. Everyone knows what this card does. It's almost like Pot of Greed. Do you know what it does? Nah, I'm kidding. It destroys all monsters. Or does it? Then we have 1 and another. We have 1 Flash Fusion and 1 Polymerization. Flash Fusion, I just like a lot. Just like having it in case during the battle phase, if I need just that 1 more attack, bam! Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, baby. Then we have 2 Solemn Warnings, which when a monster would be summoned, or when a spell or trap card, or monster effect is activated that includes the effect of special summon monster, pay 2,000 life points, negate the summoning or activation, and destroy it. Then we have 1 Warning Point. This card to me is so underrated. When a monster is summoned this turn, that face-up monster cannot attack, its effects are negated. It also can't be used as materials for fusion summon, synchro summon, or XC summon, or even a link summon. So it just straight blocks your opponent from doing anything with that monster. Then 1 Ultimate Creature of Destruction. This card, target 1 blue-eyes monster you control this turn. That face-up monster is unaffected by card effects, except its own, cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, any opponent's monster it battles is destroyed at the end of the damage step. While this card is in your graveyard, if you normal summon or special summon a blue-eyes white dragon, you can set this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can activate this once per turn. And then we have Tyrant Wings, which you target 1 of your blue-eyes monsters, or any dragon on the field. It's a blue-eyes deck, so I said blue-eyes. Equip card gains 400 attack and defense. It can also make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. Once per turn during the end phase, monster equipped with this card by this effect attacks an opponent's monster this turn, destroy this card. So it's good for 1 shot, 1 kill. Alright, on to the extra deck. In the extra deck, oh come on now, I had you all organized and apparently you got deorganized. That's fine, I can still make it work. Got 2 Blue-Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragons and 1 Blue-Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Now Blue-Eyes Alternative Dragon, pretty much, if you use them by using 3 Blue-Eyes, it cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effect. Once per turn, target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. But, here's the good part, if it was fused using a monster whose original name is Blue-Eyes Alternative Dragon as a material, you can target the 3 cards your opponent controls instead. So, yeah, it's a 3-card destruction if you use alternative. And Blue-Eyes Ultimate, well, he's in there because he's Blue-Eyes Ultimate. You can't have a Blue-Eyes deck without him. I'm sorry, you just can't. Then we have Blue-Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. This card must be fusion summoned or special summoned by sending above materials you control to the graveyard. It cannot be destroyed by battle. This card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. At the end of the damage step, when this card attacks the opponent's monster, but the opponent's monster was not destroyed, you can banish that monster. So even if he doesn't take it out, he can banish it. It's pretty good. Then we have 1 Heretic Sunlord. I always say Sunlord for some reason. Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord Helopolis. It's one of my favorite XCs monsters from back when I got back into it, when the XCs were still kind of newish. And once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, tribute any number of monsters on your field, hand, or minimum of 1, then destroy and equip an equal number of cards on the field. So, room for material, if you got a field full of monsters or anything, take them all out, then you can take out all of your opponent's cards. Then we have 1 number 107 Galaxy Tachyon Dragon. This card, once per battle phase at the start of your damage step, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate the effects of all other face-up monsters currently on the field. Also, their attacks and defense become their original attacks defense. If you do any of these during the battle phase, this card, each time opponent's card effects resolve, this card gains 1,000 attack until the end of the battle phase. Also, it can make a 2nd attack during each battle phase. So, it's a pretty powerful card. Pretty good to have in this deck. And then last XC monster, we have Dark Rebellion XC Dragon. You can detach 2 materials from this card, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes half of its current attack, and if it does, this card gains that amount. So he can become a pretty big boy. Then we have 1 Blue-Eyes Spirit Dragon. Near player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time once per turn. When the effect of a card in the graveyard is activated, you can negate the activation. Another quick effect, so yeah, it has 2. You can tribute this synchro summon card, special summon 1 light dragon monster from your extra deck in defense position except for this one, which makes him combo into this beauty. Azura Eyes Silver Dragon. If this card is special summoned, until the end phase of the next turn, neither player can target dragon monsters you currently control with card effects. Also, they can't be destroyed by card effects. Once per turn, during your standby phase, you can special summon a normal monster from your graveyard. So, she's a pretty good card. Then we have 1, Trishlet, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. When this card is synchro summoned, you can banish 1 card each of your opponent's hand, field, and graveyard. Kind of a little bit hard to get out in this deck, but it is possible. Maybe. I don't know, I'm gonna find out when I test play it, ain't I? I test played it. I just added him in the other day. Then we have 1, Heretic Mirage Lights. Now this card I will rarely probably get on the field because of its effect. But if I do, what she does is she allows me to add 2 ritual monsters or spell cards, different names, from my graveyard to my hand. But she has to be sent there by my opponent's card effect. So it's a bit situational. She's in there mainly for a filler. Then we have the 3 Nightmare Beauties right there. Look at that. The Griffin, the Unicorn, and the Phoenix. Everyone needs these cards in their side deck. Unless you're building a deck that doesn't need them. But they make great staples for any deck. I know, it's a shame there's no Cerberus in there. I'm sorry. He's in another deck. I assure you that will show down the line. Then finally, we have Topologic Tressa. I have yet to been able to pronounce his name right. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm trying here. His effect, though, is kind of good. If a monster is special summoned to a zone, this card points to banish as many of those monsters as possible. Also, as many spell and trap cards on the field as possible. If you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each card that is banished by this effect. So, pretty decent banish effect, especially if your opponent is not paying attention and special summons right in front of them. Which has happened before, and it's funny as hell. I summoned this card. Oh crap. Yep, you summoned him right in front of him. Good job. Alright guys, well that is it for my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. Comment down below what you think, and I would like to see and hear your ideas for your own Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you all in the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Adventure. Bye!